Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Luke Monster, and this is my review of the Star Wars The Black Series Scarif Stormtrooper. If you would, real quick, go down, hit that like button, and subscribe if you're new to the channel, because it does really help me out a lot. Anyway, this was a Toys R Us exclusive back in 2016, and he's one of the coolest Stormtroopers from Rogue One, gotta say. Definitely one of my favorite Stormtrooper armors, and I'm super happy to have him. So, yeah, this is a 6-year-old figure now, 5-year-old figure now. He's quite old. He was 2016, of course, but like I said, no number on the side. You can pause and read the back if you'd like. I love the artwork on the back. To this side, not much. Pretty large window there on the side. And flipping it back around. Yeah, so like, of course, this is an old figure, so it does have the big window on the top. I believe they stopped doing that around like 2017 is when they stopped doing that. So all the 2016 figures do have this window. And yeah, other than that, let's just get this figure open and see what he looks like. So we have the Scarif Stormtrooper out of the box. And I do have to say, for a figure that came out in 2016, this guy has thoroughly impressed me. The articulation is really good. For a figure in 2016, he is outstanding. So I will get into the articulation and the weapons later in the video, but first I want to go and just admire how good the design and paint apps are on this guy. But like I said, for 2016, this guy has surprisingly good articulation and some really good paint apps as well. And I kind of want to say that, like, at 2016, when this was released, this would have been the best Stormtrooper ever released. And that might change because I actually don't own the Death Trooper, so the Death Trooper might be better. But other than that, there's not any other Stormtrooper I think that could be better than this, because this guy is a really cool figure. So let's go and look at a up close of his paint apps and just design in general. So here he is up close, and I just want to admire his paint apps for a little bit. I love how they like weathered the helmet. It's not too much. It's very subtle, the weathering. And they did it perfectly. They got it in just the right places to where it looks realistic, and I love what they did with it. I love how they put in like the different hard to reach like places to clean and stuff like that, and that's why it'd be the dirtiest. So again, the weathering on this guy is amazing. I absolutely love what they did with that, and I just love the design as well. I love the little red arm piece on him, and of course going down to the legs, we do have some pretty simple legs. We only have the like leg armor here, none on his thighs. And then, of course, he does have this little, like, a skirt-looking piece of armor as well. And I actually like that a lot because it kind of covers up the joints around his hips there. And that's one, like, thing I don't like about figures is whenever they have, like, just a massive, like, hip joint. For example, like, you can completely see Luke Skywalker's, like, legs here to where, like, they bend and stuff. Of course, it's just an action figure in general. But I think it's really cool when Hasbro can find a way to cover that up, and this is just a great way to do that. So I'm glad that they found a way to do that. And anyway, let's go and take a close look at this guy's articulation. So I'm not going to get too terribly in depth with the articulation, but I will go over just a little bit. His head does go up that far. I was super impressed with how far it could look up. It looks so cool when he looks up like that. Down that far, which is, again, pretty good. It is on a ball joint, so you can go in any which way. His arm does go all the way around, and one thing I was impressed with is a figure from 2016, his arm can go all the way out like that. And then it does reach a little bit over 90 right there. Of course, swivel at the torso. I believe no, he does not. I was thinking he twists right here at the belt, but he does not. Anyway, the legs is where it starts to hinder the articulation a little bit. He can kick up that far if you really want him to, and then he can kick back about that far, not very far there. And then you can go out that far on the legs. So yeah, I gotta say, for a figure in 2016, he has some pretty good articulation. I am impressed with that. So let's go and get a close look at his accessories. So this is his only accessories, just of course his standard Stormtrooper blaster. And that is a little unfortunate. I wish they would have thrown in another blaster. Primarily the one that most of the shore troopers use. I'll throw up the photo of that right now, what I'm talking about. And I'm surprised that this figure didn't come with that, because I believe that's what most of the shore troopers used in the movie. So yeah, that's weird. I don't know why they couldn't have just thrown that in. Gave him 2 weapons and not the gun. But anyway, I wish that this guy had a little bit more weathering on him. He does have a little bit on there. It is pretty subtle, but he does have a little bit on there, kind of like down by the bottom right there. But I wish they did more like the Amazon exclusive 4-pack is the only other one that's weathered like this, and it is like a very weathered one. Again, it is pretty subtle, but it is weathered quite well, and I dig it. So I wish they would have done a little bit more weathering on the blaster, but other than that, I think it's pretty good. So one thing that's very interesting with this figure is the height of the figure. So this figure compared to the old Stormtrooper molds, which would have been out at the time, would have been very, very short. So here is him next to the Stormtrooper captain on that old mold, and as you can tell, that one is just taller by quite a bit. I'll give it a back-to-back to show as well. Obviously, it does not look as well as much because I have the Stormtrooper pretty wide stance, but you can definitely tell there is a few inches there, at least in like to scale. There's a few inches, and I think that the new Stormtrooper mold does a very a good job at like getting that same scale. So here is the new Stormtrooper mold up next to the Scarif Stormtrooper, and they are pretty much exactly the same height. And I think that they the new Stormtrooper mold definitely fits in scale better with the Scarif Stormtrooper. It's something I really like because I dig both of these guys so much, and I think that the it being in scale with the new Stormtrooper mold is just really cool. So overall, I do really like this figure. I think he has some really good articulation for the time he came out, and some amazing weathering on the figure as well. While I would have loved them to throw in the other blaster and maybe weathered this one as well, just a little bit. I think overall it's not that bad that they didn't do that. So I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5. I did take off half a point for that weapon, but I think overall it is a great figure and one I'd highly recommend you guys pick up. And now I think I definitely have to pick up the Scarif Trooper, like Commander or Captain or whatever it is, the one with the other paint on it, because I think that would be really cool to get to go with this guy. And I think this guy will just fit into any collection because, of course, it is an older figure. They don't always merge together that well, but I think this guy will fit in to anybody's collection. So I do highly suggest this to any just Stormtrooper fans, Rogue One fans, or fans looking to build an army. So I'll see you guys in the next video.